The attack on the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001 was absolutely devastating in terms of lives lost. The secondary impact was a seismic impact on the economies around the world, and specifically on companies that were relying heavily on IT infrastructure as a part of their new business model. A fundamental lesson was learned about the importance of spreading your resources, be it data, critical hardware, or application, across a number of secure places, but more importantly, controlled by someone who really knew what they were doing rather than necessarily on-premise. Concepts started to appear that would be the forerunners to cloud in some form or other. Ideas like grid computing. ASP, or Application Service Provider, became a big thing in the early 2000s. Fog computing and utility computing were some ideas that tried to take a hold. Around this time, a technology called VPN, or Virtual Private Networks, started to take a hold. And it used tunneling protocols such as SSH. I'm sure you've seen that. Secure shell encryption, to allow encrypted private channels of communication on public networks like the internet. This established the notion of being able to have small private networks, but being made accessible through the internet as a transmission medium. What this meant was that a large repository of data could be housed on one location, and certain nominated users with the right permission levels could access the data in a very secure way via the internet. Around the first decade of the 21st century, what was also becoming apparent was that we were also going to go around with very powerful smartphones. And also there was the increasing rise of powerful networks such as 3G and 4G. And what this meant was that data was becoming just as important a commodity to you and me, the consumer, as it was to the enterprise. For you and me, the loss of a smartphone with its hundreds of cherished photos of important events and the numerous telephone numbers of contacts was suddenly becoming as frustrating to an individual as the loss of a database was to a company. In that first decade, actually in 2006, Amazon also created Amazon Web Services. And in 2008, Gartner, the consultancy company, proclaimed that cloud computing had arrived. Cloud computing could shape the relationship amongst the consumers of IT services, those who use IT services, and those who sell them. Gartner added that organizations are switching from company-owned hardware and software assets to a per-use service-based model. All of this meant that the groundwork was set for the next iteration of computing as a shared service. Enter fully fledged take-up of cloud.